right. Yeah.
Trent Taylor versus C.J. Beathard.
Yeah.
Oh, some great battles.
Was that the most heated competition you've seen in this locker room?
The basketball shooting gets aggressive, especially when Trent Williams plays. I will say that.
He's good, too. I've seen
So is Greenlaw's. Disgusting. Purdy has the grossest shot, but somehow hits everything.
He didn't even hear you. Or is he choosing not to hear you?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
It is what it is. How are you guys today?
Good. How are you?
I'm lovely. You kidding me? It's Thursday, sun's out, and I'm playing football. I'm having a great time.
Unusual dynamic for the first time in a while when you guys aren't potentially playing for the postseason right now. I know there's a mathematical chance, but
Point one?
yeah, point one is so you're saying we got a chance, but how does that change things for you, or does it change things for you as you approach these games?
No, it doesn't really change much for me. I come in here with the same mindset every single day. Like, I'm trying to go out on Sunday. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to have a great game, bunch of catches, touchdowns, that whole shebang, play well in the run game. And my goal, my job and duty as a captain is to encourage guys to do the same, pull guys along. At the end of the day, we got to play football today. And I know for a fact there's plenty of guys, whether you're a practice squad player, whether you're a retired guy, that would love nothing more than to be playing on a football team with a 0.1% chance. And so you just got to keep that mindset and just attack every single day for what it is.
Are you a guy who goes around to talk to people about things like that, about motivation, or is this a pretty self-motivated group?
You know what? I speak to guys sometimes that I feel like might need a little bit of encouragement. But I would say a majority of the guys, like, they get it, and they get that. You're playing for this Sunday, but you're also playing in your film's on tape. Coach Shanahan's watching, all the coaches are watching. Like, you don't want to go out there and just put a dud on tape any day that you're ever get the opportunity to lace up your cleats and your pads. So I think this is a very self-motivated group, and I'm looking forward to a great practice today and then a great game on Sunday.
It seems that Jalen Moore has really grabbed his opportunity this year. What have you seen from him? I know you worked some of those combo blocks with him. What have you thought of his play so far?
You know what? Back during training camp, everyone asked me, how worried I was about Trent Williams not being here, and I was just, I'm excited for Jalen to get the reps because there's going to be a point in the year where we're going to be playing alongside him, and I'm going to need him to be at his best. And so I'm glad I got those reps in training camp because I think Jalen's done a good job. He took advantage of all those reps. I'd love to have Trent Williams playing because he's amazing, but I think Jalen's done a very, very good job about stepping in. He's been really good in the run game. I think he's been very sufficient in the pass pro game, and he's a good energy out there too, so I've thoroughly enjoyed playing alongside of him.
It seems like he's really elevated his play versus times before when he filled in. Is that something that you've noticed as well?
You know what? When you get a handful of snaps, like if you just had to come in the fourth quarter for 6 snaps, that's really tough sometimes. But like when you get games after games and you kind of get your footing, you get a rhythm, it makes it a lot easier. And I think he's just done a good job of every single week he comes in, he works on something get a little bit better at, whether it's his first step, whether it's his hands, whatever it is. But he's getting better every single week of practice, and then every game too, I think he's just gotten a little bit better.
You know that at the end of every year that there's going to be roster change. There's no question about that, win, lose, or draw. Is there such a thing as momentum to take into next season for the guys that you know are going to be here to kind of establish a culture moving forward for next year?
Yeah, I think you want to take advantage of these 3 games that you have in front of you, focus on one at a time, but like I would much rather win these 3 games and go into the offseason feeling a little bit better. And hey, mathematically there's a 0.1% chance that we somehow sneak into the playoffs. But hey, if we don't, I'd rather win those 3 games than stub my toe on all 3 of them. That sounds horrible. And you really just want to, yes, there are changes, but a majority of the guys are going to be back. And I think, I look back at 2017, we were a 1-10 football team. We won our 5 of our last 6 games, and just way more fun. You just have a better energy going into it. And also, like, if you're done playing in January, you're definitely there's a new hunger, I would say, for a lot of the guys who haven't been to the playoffs a bunch and stuff like that. They just they want to get there for the first time. So it'll be good for our group.
And is it a little bit of a positive thing when you think about how close those key games were, just one little play one way or the other, and we're having a different conversation right now?
Could be. I try not to look too much in the past.
Yeah.
Our record is what our record is, and a majority of it is what we did or did not do. And so there'll be a time to look back and all that and see what we could have done better, places that we could have played better, opportunities that we could have taken more advantage of. But right now all I'm focused on is going down to Miami and beating a lot of my old former teammates and coaches, which I'm really looking forward to.
I was about to ask about Mike McDaniel. You obviously worked with him for several years.
I did.
He's quite the character. Do you have any really good memories with Mike?
I just always enjoyed walking past his office on like a Monday or Tuesday while he was doing install of run plays. Just asking what his thoughts were on the game plan. It's in his office for 5 to 10 minutes. I always enjoy doing that. My tight end coach is down there, John Embry too, which I'm excited to see him. Coached me for my first 5 years. Close with him. Wes Welker's down there. Got a lot of guys down there that I'm good friends with. So just excited to see everybody. And I think we're 2-0 against them so far. So let's keep that train rolling.
I still remember Embry. I thought fined you guys $10 every single time that you
jumped. That or run out of bounds. Yeah.
What was the other stipulation?
If I jumped while catching the ball, because he says keep your feet on the ground because you can go faster.
So looking back on that now, you're obviously the perennial All-Pro player. Those were the initial NFL lessons, though. So do you feel that some of that did really instill the habits that you needed to reach the level that you consistently have reached?
You know what? I think Coach Embry did a great job about, showing me the ropes, kind of throwing me a life vest because I was kind of thrown out to sea when we started as a rookie. But he instilled a lot of awesome things that I still do to this day. Catching, running, not running out of bounds. Just like he helped me establish my mindset that allowed me to become the player that I am today. And I owe a ton of my success to John Embry. And, he's basically my dad of the NFL, if you take my dad out of it. But, close friend. We always talk all the time throughout the seasons, and it's always fun to I'll get a random coaching point from him at like 5 a.m. our time, 8 a.m. Miami time. It says your footwork was trash last week. You got to fix your stance. You got to step like this, and I always appreciate those coaching points.
George, Curtis is nominated for Walter Payton Man.
That he is.
And I see you at a lot of community events with him. He's somewhat quiet. How do you see him come alive at these events?
I think one thing he does is he makes everybody that he interacts with feel very welcomed and loved. And I think that's a very special talent. Not everybody can do that. And he does it from a place, too, where he's not like a perennial household name where he's just relying on, hey, everybody knows who I am. He does such a good job about communicating with people that he's talking to. If he's talking to a family, talking to mom, dad, their kids, getting to know them, I think he just does such an excellent job about that. And also, he just makes himself available all the time. He's also our NFLPA rep, so he does that stuff. But he's always available to all the guys in the locker room, the families, anybody that he's talking to. He makes them feel very welcomed.
Brock Purdy he will get a giant contract coming up.
That he will.
I don't pay attention too much to the internet, but...
You don't?
I try not to. But
okay,
there are some people that are saying that 50 to 60 million is too high. What is your counter argument to that?
Well, the good thing for me is that I don't have to do this contract. That's not on me, and that's on the organization and the guys on the other side of the aisle. But you know what? I think Brock's did nothing but play at a very, very high level. And the nice thing about contracts is when you play at a high level, you can compare yourself to other people in the league. And when other guys are getting paid $50, $60 million, and you're a better quarterback than they are, hard not to get that same amount of money. And I don't know what Brock's going to do. I think the Niners are going to figure something out to be as team friendly as you possibly can, but still reward him for the things that he has done and the things that he's going to continue to do for this organization.
And what about the intangibles that he brings to the table? Yes, there's play, but there's all the things that people on the outside don't see.
I don't know, Brock's what, 24? Mm-hmm. He's not a kid, but he just has a lot of growth and maturity left in front of him too. So I just think he's going to continually get better and better. And each year you're just going to see a better version of Brock. And, the more mature he gets, I think the more vocal he'll be as a leader and stuff like that too. And I think he does a good job of that already. And I think he's taken a step forward in that this year specifically. But I think next year too, he's just going to come back and be even more of a vocal leader for us.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, guys.